Hello guys, hope all of you are doing great. This is part 5 of our Learn Google Sheet Functions video series. In this video, we are going to learn about 6 very simple string functions in Google Sheet. Those are len, trim, split, left, right, and the middle functions. In this video, I'll show you how these different functions work, and at the end we'll be doing a complete example to understand these functions in some more details. Okay then guys, let's begin. The first function that we're going to learn today is the len function. The len function tells you how many characters are present in a given string. Say for example, you want to count like how many characters are there in this string, a lazy dog. Say you just want to count how many characters are there in this input string programmatically. So you can make use of this len function. So you'll be writing equal len and the input string, like from where you want to count the number of symbols. So this is the string, input string, from where I want to count how many symbols are there. So as soon as I press enter, you'll be seeing, okay, there are like 10 characters in this input string. Now see, when it counts those characters, it counts these intermediate spaces also, like a, see here, why 10? This is the first character a, then space is 2, then 3, 4, 5, 6, then this space is 7, 8, 9, and 10. There are 10 characters there. Like if I give some extra spaces at the end, you will see automatically that now the output is changed to 15. Like there are like 15 characters there. Like out of them, some of them are white spaces. Not only white spaces and characters, if you now that string might contain anything like some digits maybe, or some extra some special symbols like this. So it'll count everything, like how many symbols or how many characters are there in this input string. That will be counted by this len function. So as soon as I click outside, you will see that there are like 24 characters are there in this input string. Okay, that's a simple function, and that's all about this len function. Now, so whenever whenever you want to count how many characters are there in a string, if you want to do that programmatically in Google Sheet, then you'll be using this len function. Done. The next function is the next function that we're going to learn is the trim function. It is another simple function. What does this function do is it removes the extra spaces from an input string. When I say extra spaces, means say for example I write here a string like this, space 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 a space 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 lazy space 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 dog, like that, like this. Now this is my input, this is my input string. Now see, if you see this string, then you can see that there are some unnecessary spaces written here, right? I mean, before these a, there are like 4 or 5 spaces there, and in between each word, although only one space is enough, but I have written there like multiple spaces. Those extra spaces, other than one space, those are called as repetitive space, or those are unnecessary spaces, right? Sometimes we might want to get rid of those extra spaces. So if it is the case, then what you can do is you can make use of this trim function. So trim equal to trim. Trim means, right, like getting rid of those extra unnecessary things. So trim. And then this is your input string. That is, from this input string, we want to get rid of those extra spaces. Now, as soon as I press enter, you will see now this is this trimmed version. This is the trimmed version of this input string. Which spaces are removed? All the trailing spaces, like all the leading spaces, right? Just before starting the main text, whatever the spaces are there, those are all removed. And then in between words, the trim function keeps only one space, and rest of the spaces are removed. Actually, you see, a and lazy, now it is only one space there, but however in the main input string, the original string, there were more than one spaces. And after this dog also, there were like a few spaces there, but those spaces are not here in this output string. Now if you count here, like say equal to count, sorry, not count, length of these, if you count like how many characters were there in the input, sorry, what I'm doing, how many characters were there in this string, then you will see that there were like 25 characters. But how many characters are there in this string, the trimmed version of the string? If you see, then you'll see that there are only 10 characters in the trimmed version of the string. I hope that people have understood this string function. It is again a simple function. What does this function do is it removes those extra spaces from the beginning, from the end, and from from the middle of the words. Whereas when I say middle of the word, it means it keeps only one space, and the rest of the extra unnecessary spaces it removes from there. Okay, you can try it with some other examples also when you do the practice. I strongly recommend you people to do practice when you see or when you watch these videos. The next function that we are going to learn is the split function. Now, this split function is what does this function do? As the name itself indicates, splitting means what? Breaking things into multiple pieces. So if you want to break an input string into multiple pieces, then you can use this split function. You might be thinking, sir, why on earth we might need that thing? There are many situations where actually you want to break a string into multiple pieces. Like, say, for example, you can see that there are some names given. Say, I write Ram, Andrew, and Thomas. There's some names given here, but all these names are written as a single string separated by comma. Our goal is that we want to separate each name as an individual string, or as a as a separate string there. Now, how we can achieve that? If it is the case, then we can make use of this split function. See, we can write it in this way: split, and then specify the input string. Okay, this is the string that we want to split. And another thing that you have to specify is on what character you want to split the string. That is called as the delimiter. Like this is the symbol. Wherever you see this symbol, you want Google Sheet function to actually split the string there. So right now, where we want to split the string, wherever it is a comma, we want to split that particular. We want to split the string there. We want to cut the string here. We want to cut the string here. So that's why we're writing here a comma. That is, at commas, we want to split the string. Now see one thing, that the input to this split function is one. I mean one string, isn't it? Like one complete string. But the output of these functions, as the nature itself, like as the functionality of the function itself, like it is going to return you multiple parts, isn't it? So the output of this function will be will be multiple strings, and those outputs, each part of the string will occupy one complete cell. Okay, let me show you. As soon as I press enter here, what you are going to see is, see, Ram in a different cell, Andrew in a different cell, Thomas in a different cell. From this input string, we actually extracted three different strings. Got it? This is an example of split function. And see one more thing, that splitting might not happen on, like, when you specify. Say for example, another string is given to you in this way. Say this time these names were written in this way: Ram underscore underscore, Andrew underscore underscore, and Thomas underscore Thomas. That's all. Now suppose what we want is, we want now this particular string to be splitted. Same thing, actually, you will be writing split, and then this is your input string, and then on what delimiter you want to split the string? You want to split the string on underscore underscore. So that's all. And as soon as you press enter, you will see the same output: Ram, Andrew, Thomas. Got it? Now that is what this split function does. It actually splits an input string into multiple pieces based on the delimiter you specified. You please do some practice. Certainly things will these functions are very simple of their own, and they does a very specific job of their own. But the thing is, in our practical use of Google Sheet, we'll be doing some more complicated task. Like maybe we have to first pre-process the input data, and then from the pre-processed data we have to actually get some meaningful information out of the given data. In that case, these small functions we might have to use at different places there, to complete a big task. So it's a good idea that you first learn them independently, like what those functions does, and then when you do practice, it will create some impression in your mind or in your brain. So that way, whenever you face some practical or real problem there, automatically those impressions will help you. Okay, at this situation I should use this function, at that situation I should use that particular function, like that. That is the importance of doing practice. The next function that we are going to learn is actually not only one function, three functions. So these are like left, right, and the mid function. Okay, why did I write them in this way? Because they more or less, they operate on the same logic. Okay, only thing is, from different perspectives, sort of. Okay, let me show you the first example there. So, for example, you have a string, say the first name here, like this. What you want is you want to get the first letter of this name. How do you do that? To do that, you have to make use of this left function. Left. See, this left function, by default, it returns you the leftmost character of the input string. Say if my input string is this one, then it will tell me the leftmost character of the input string, which is your R here, right? So if I change my input string to A, B, C, here the leftmost character is A, so as an output you'll see an A there. But it is sometimes what might happen is that you are actually interested in more than one leftmost character. That is, starting from the leftmost character, you want two characters from the input string. That is also achievable using this left function. There is another input that you can specify, is that from this input string, from the left hand side, you want, if it is only one character, then you can explicitly write this one, or by default it is one only. Okay, so writing this comma one is same as not writing anything there, because that is the default value for that particular input. Let me show you the help menu where it goes. Okay, let me write it here. Let me show you first the help menu of this left function there. You see, it is left, and then this is the name of the function, and then this is the input string, and then another optional input is number of characters that you want to extract from the left hand side. And by default the value of this input is 1, and that's why you see when I wrote this function, I specified only one input, left, and then the input string. I didn't write anything number of characters, because by default that is 1, and suppose I was only interested in only the first letter there. So as a result, as soon as I press enter, I got an A, and I was happy with that. But suppose now this time I want two letters from the beginning, from the the leftmost position. In that case, I have to explicitly write there a 2. As soon as I write there a 2, it will retrieve me, or it will extract two letters from the left hand side of the input string, like that. Now if you want the same thing but not from the left hand side, this time you want the rightmost two characters, that is from the end, you want two characters, that is this B and C you want, then you can use, instead of using a left function, you can use now, yeah, your guess is right, you can use a right function. Right, that is from this string I want to retrieve the rightmost two characters, like this. And again, the same way that the way it was with left function, the same thing is true with right function also. What I mean is, where it is true, that default value. If you simply write right and the input string, by default it will simply return you the last character of the input string. So here the input string is ABC, the last character is C, so it is returning with that. So it means what this left function, general syntax is that which string you are talking about and how many characters you want from the beginning of the string. And this left function, right function, what does it do is, which string you are talking about, and from that string, from the rightmost position, how many characters that you want to extract, that you have to specify by writing the number here, left and right. The same way, now suppose there might be some cases where you do not want the leftmost, neither the leftmost or nor the rightmost part of the string, but what you want is, you want somewhere in the middle. So for example, from this given string, I want to extract this part, that right word. Okay, how do I do that? So for that reason, you cannot use left and right, because left means always it will start at the left, right means always it will start extracting the symbols from the right. But if I want to extract this middle part here, what I can do is, I can use another function there, that is your mid function, mid. And see, this is the general syntax of writing mid function. Mid, then this is the input string, and this is the starting at, and this is the extract length. So for example, this is an example given here, meet from this particular string. Now starting at is written as 5. Now see, these numbers starts with 1. The first character is at position 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. It means from this particular position, 5th position, we are writing here 4. It means from this 5th position, 4 letters will be extracted. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 letters will be extracted. So if this is the function, this is how you write the function, the output of this function will be THIS. Okay, let me show you an example here. Now in this case, suppose the first thing that you have to specify is of this in this meet function is this meet. The first input is this the string from where you want to extract the letters, and then the second input is the starting point. The starting point is from the left you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this R is at position 6. So position 6 we want to start extracting the characters. And from position 6, how many characters you want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. So I'll be writing it in this way. As soon as I press enter, I'll see here this right. Now see, this left and right, they are specific version of this meet function. Meet is actually a general function. So using the same meet function, if you want, you can extract the last character also, isn't it? You just have to write like meet, and then yeah, how many characters are there? You can count, or what you can do is you can make use of this length function, length of this input string. Then this is but you want to start 1 before the total number of characters present there, and that's all. From there you want to extract 1 character, but input string you have to specify. So input string is this is my input string. That's all. It should give you the last character present there. It is giving you I actually. So yeah, it is actually not length minus 1. If you write it length, then it will give you the last character there. I'm just showing you an example. Now you just pause for a moment. Why this example? Why writing this function in this way returns you D? If you can figure it out, it means you have understood the thing there. The same way, if you want the leftmost character using meet function, how can I do that? It is simple now. Meet, and from this input string, starting at 1, I want to extract 1 character. It will give you the leftmost character present in the given string. So using meet, you can actually mimic the behavior of left function as well as the right function. Those left and right are some 2 specific cases of this meet function. Meet is, in general, it is a general function there. Okay, you spend some time with this, do some practice with this meet, left and right, create your own examples and do some practice there. It'll make sense. Now let me give you another example, like where this situation could be useful. So for example, you consider the first name, middle name, and last name of a person. Say, just assume the first name of the person is Joseph, middle name is John, and the last name is Thompson. You know who is this person? It is not a this name I have not taken arbitrarily. This name is the name of a Thompson, name of a very famous scientist. And this scientist, he actually discovered electron in 1897, I guess, and for his discovery he won a Nobel Prize in 1906. Quite a brilliant person, no? But anyhow, and then his name, before his name, there is this Sir is also there, Sir Joseph John Thomson. But anyhow, say for example, you consider this is the first name of a person, middle name of a person, and the last name of a person. What we want to do is we want to, rewrite his name in some cell in this way: J. Thompson. Okay, like this. That is the first letter of the first name dot first letter of the middle name dot the last name as it is. Programmatically, or by writing some functions, we want to achieve this. Say if I change now this name to anything, then that name's first letter should come here. Okay, this is just the like the template I have written here. This is how we want the output. Now what function we can write now? See, again, you see here, there's obviously some string concatenation is there happening there, and if you have not since string concatenation, then I request you people to first see part 4 of this video, and then you'll be knowing like what are the different ways of doing or merging or combining multiple strings into a single string. But anyhow, for this particular task, what we want is we want the first letter of this first name. So that we can achieve, or that we can get by making use of this left function. We want the leftmost character from this particular cell, and then that we want to combine with the say for the time being the leftmost character of this particular middle name there, and then that we want to combine with the last name. As soon as we press enter, we will see JJ Thompson there, but we want a dot also at the same time. You can do that very easily. Just before combining the first letter of the middle name with the first letter of the first name, what we want to do is we want to put there a dot, and then we want to combine the middle name. And after the middle name also, before actually merging the last name or appending the last name there, what we want is we want there this dot explicitly, and then this part we want to merge with the last name. Done. As soon as I press enter, you'll see Jason Thompson. The advantage of this thing is now this is the result of the function, whereas this we have written like manually. So the advantage of writing a function is that now if I change this first name from Joseph to say Andrew, immediately automatically it will be AJ Thompson, but here it is not changing, right? So that is how it is useful. Anyhow, this was just an example like how you can make use of or what might be a situation where you would like to use some of these functions like left, right, or middle. I just tried to show you there. Okay, now before actually finishing the video, I want to give you some more examples there. Okay, and what we want is this those examples we'll be doing with respect to this particular data set, and I will provide a link in the description of this video for this particular Google Sheet. You can download it from there and you can do the practice there. Okay, now you see what we want is, say for example, in this data set the roll number of the student is given and the name of the student is given. And in this roll number, I want to tell you one thing. This roll number is encoded in this way. The first three letters of the roll number represents the program code of that particular student. So, for example, CSB means BTech in Computer Science and Engineering. BAT means Bachelor in Business Administration and Tourism. Something like that. It might not be just some meaning, just some program. That is, my point here is that the first three letters of this roll number, entire roll number, represents the program code where the student is enrolled in. And after that, these first two digits, after this first three letter, the next two digits represents the year in which that particular student enrolled in that particular institute. And the last three digits there, they represents the serial number of the student in that particular class. Okay, now first thing that we want to do is that we want to count how many symbols are there in the roll number there. Okay, it means why we want to do that, because say we know that our roll number should be like 3 plus 2 plus 3. It means 6 plus 2 8 characters long. So if we see any roll number which are not equal to 8 characters long, that should ring a bell in our mind. Okay, there might be something wrong there. Let's first try. Say equal to length of these roll numbers. That's all. It's simple. Now here, the first one itself is 9. Although we count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this space is there. That's why it is 9. It means with that with that roll number, there is something wrong there. And then again, with this roll number, something wrong is there. With this roll number, there is something wrong. With this roll number, there is something wrong, like that. So we realized that, okay, some of these roll numbers have some extra spaces, maybe at the beginning or maybe at the end, right? So to make sure that these roll numbers doesn't contain any extra spaces, what we can do is we can trim those roll number. So we'll be writing here trim, and then we want to trim this roll number. That's all. Press enter. Now I want to apply the same formula for all these different rows. Done. Now all these roll numbers are now trimmed. Now instead of counting the length, or instead of counting the number of characters of A2, now we can count the number of characters in D2 or from D2. So if we do that, we should get an 8 everywhere. Okay, and if it is the case, then it means, at least the first checking is done that the roll number is right. Done. After that, what we want is, see, from this roll number, as I said, no, there are three parts. What is the program code, in which year the student enrolled into that particular program, and the roll number or the serial number of the student. These three parts, if we want to separate them, all these three different parts there in three different cells. And how we can do that? See, we want to separate them in program code, year, and serial number. And we want to do it now by writing function. How we can do that? So we can do it, right? See, program code is the first three letter of this roll number field, right? So we can write here like left of the roll number, and from the left we want actually three characters there. Done. CSB. So this is the program code for this particular student. And similar formula I want to apply on all these rows. So I'll be making use of this autofill option. See, for all these different students, I now got the program code of the student explicitly in a separate cell. Similarly, if you want to now extract the year, see, if you think for a moment, year cannot be extracted using left or right function because it is somewhere in the middle, of the string. So what we have to use is we have to make use of this mid function. So mid, and from this particular string, starting at 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting at 4, we want to extract two characters. Done. As soon as I press enter, I'll get these two digits, extracted from this roll number field. And I want to apply the same formula everywhere, so I'll be making use of that autofill option. Now I'll know, like, the first student has taken admission in the year 21, and this 3 has taken in 20, then again in 21 this particular student has taken admission in 2010, maybe, and like that. Okay, and then the serial number means these last three digits we want to extract from the roll number. And you can make use of, as I said, no, you can use mid or you can use right function. Right is a specific version of the same mid function. Mid is general function. Okay, so as I said again, you can make use of this mid function to mimic the behavior of left and right. But this left and right gives you, there's a sort of shortcut. If you want to, get the left part and the right part, you can make use of those shortcuts. What I mean is that, like, see, have you, obviously you have been to an ATM there, right? So you can, like, when you withdraw money from the ATM, then you get options there, like quick withdraw or something. Like if you want to withdraw 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, then directly those options are there. You just can select those options, and that amount of money will be, you can actually, get out of the ATM that amount of money directly. You do not have to explicitly type there 5,000. But what you can do is, again, without selecting those options also, you can type that amount 5,000 explicitly. So that is the general way of doing the thing. But to make the process a bit faster, there are some shortcuts for very frequently used operations. The same thing here also. Left and right, they are like the same thing. Like the same thing you can do using mid also. But the thing is that if you are interested in the leftmost characters or the rightmost characters, then instead of using mid directly, you can use left and right functions. It will make your task a bit easier actually. But anyhow, we are right now interested in these last three digits or the rightmost three characters of this roll number string. So we'll be specifying this is our input string, and we are interested in the rightmost three characters there. Done. 001 is coming here, and for all these rows I want to apply the same formula, and that way I can do it. Done. Now the last example is, say for example, this name part of the student. They are given like as a single string, the first name and the last name, first name, last name, first name, last name, right? Now what we want is we want to separate this first name from the last name. That is, this first name we want in a separate column, this last name we want in a separate column. How to do that? Yeah, as soon as I ask you the question, things should come into mind like, okay, the solution is certainly using this split function. We want to split the name of the student at this space. Like wherever it is a space, we want to cut the string there, and we want to make two cells out of it. So as soon as I press enter, you will see Samir space Raz is now splitted to first name Samir, last name Raz. And the same formula I want to apply on all these different rows. And as soon as I make use of this, as soon as I drag that filled rectangle up to this particular row, automatically everywhere the formula is applied, and you can see this is the result of those, of that operation. See all these names now, all these names here, all the names which are present in this name column, they are split into two columns now, first name column and the last name column. Okay guys, that much only in this video. Thanks for watching. See you guys with some new content in the next video. Till then, have a nice day.